My name is Lance Grandy, and I'm Senior Vice President, Head of Collections and Research at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago. And we are very closely linked to the University of Chicago in many of our academic programs. I teach a course there called Stones and Bones, which is part of the University of Chicago summer session. And this is a course that involves everything from hands-on field experience to laboratory preparation to looking at the philosophy and methods of how we do evolutionary science today. This is a gallery in the Evolving Planet exhibit at the Field Museum, and this gallery features the locality that we actually work on in Stones and Bones in southwestern Wyoming. It's a wonderful locality because it's like looking at a living community. I mean, we have the crocodiles and palms telling us that this high mountain desert area where it now snows as early as August was a tropical or subtropical lake system 52 million years ago. We have the birds that were flying over the area preserved. We have fishes with other fishes preserved in their stomachs to show us what they were eating. We even have a pregnant stingray to show us birth in the fossil record. So it's amazing. It's a very vibrant locality because it contains the entire living system locked in stone here for 52 million years. One of the things I should emphasize here too is the 2-week field portion of this course is not a pretend field session, or it's not a practice or instruction based on a model of field work. This is a real field expedition the Field Museum is conducting, and we find materials that we bring back that are invaluable to research, to our exhibits, and to student training, as in this course. A typical day in the field is first we get up shortly after the sun rises, and we're all camped out right at the top of the butte where we're actually working. So there's a lot of fresh air there. It's fairly primitive camping. But we go into town every day for lunch and supplies. We charge up and then get down to the quarry by 8 o'clock in the morning. This is very important because we want to catch those early morning sun rays because they're at a steep angle, and that allows us to find the fossils most easily because we're looking for very subtle relief features on the surface of this white rock. So after we've been digging for most of the morning, we usually knock off about 11:30. And before we go, we sweep off the slabs so they can bake in the afternoon sun while we're in town having lunch. And then we go into the town of Kemmer, which is about 10 miles west of where we're working. This gives the students an opportunity to rest after lunch. We usually go into the park in town and throw a frisbee around, and students have a chance to go to the post office if they want to mail postcards and visit some of the local stores. But once that's through and we've bought the groceries for dinner, we return to the butte. And once we're there, we start working again about 3 or 3:30. And then the sun is again at an angle that allows us to find what we're looking for. And we work until the sun goes over the butte and casts a shadow on the slab that we're working. And then that brings work to a halt again because we need that angled sun. So after a hard day's work in the evenings, there's students and museum staff as well are often looking for something to occupy their minds, and we have a variety of activities that we've had there over the years. In the other 2 weeks that are here at the Field Museum, we involve the students in things like preparation of fossils. I mean, what happens to a fossil once it gets back to the museum? How do we turn it into something that scientists can use for something meaningful? Then we also look at methods and philosophies of paleontological research, or how we do modern evolutionary studies. We look at comparative anatomy. We look at methods of analyzing evolutionary data. What I try to do is expose the student to the widest breadth of paleontology to spark an interest in possibly pursuing some element of that deeper in the future. The students, I think, learn a lot more. I mean, they learn how to bond together into a team. that I mean, these are people that haven't met each other prior to just a couple weeks before we go out into the field. And by the time we return from the field, this group is bonded together as a really lean, successful team. They've worked together, we've found material that's going to be useful to science and the exhibits here, and I think they come away with a sense of accomplishment.